Hello.
Hi.
So we're going to talk today about our recent trip to Malaysia
Yeah.
that we booked through Trailfinders.
We'd already picked up the brochures of Malaysia and had a bit of an idea of what we wanted to do, but then we actually went into the store because they've got one in Manchester near where we live, and had a chat with them in there, and they actually put together a bespoke tour for us, putting in exactly what we wanted, didn't they? So what we did, they organised flights for us. They picked us up at the airport and took us to the hotels. They organised private tours for each place where we were. They picked us, they organised drivers who then took us from each hotel to the next hotel. Everything went to plan. So we flew with Singapore Airlines. Manchester to Singapore has a direct flight a few times a week. It's 13 hours to Singapore, so it is a long flight, but it was okay, it was comfortable. Then when we got to Singapore, we had 5 hours in Singapore airport until our flight to Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah.
But even that was okay.
Because there was a lot to see in Singapore airport, wasn't
so
there?
there was we wandered around. There was like a fish pond with flowers and things, and then there was also a butterfly park.
Yeah.
That was there, and also there was a sunflower park as well. So there was
There's
quite
actually
a few things to say.
Yeah. Apparently, there's a really impressive waterfall. We didn't quite get to that, but yeah, there is so much to do and see in Singapore.
So we had a quick flight from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur, and then we were picked up in a car and taken. It took about 2 hours, didn't it? Yeah, and we stayed in the Majestic Hotel in Malacca, which is an old sort of colonial type hotel. Hello. Okay, we're in Malacca, Malaysia. We've just got here. I can't even think because we've been on the road for that long. It's probably been about 26 hours since we left home. It's 5:45 here, so in the evening, we're gonna try and get another couple of hours going so that we can actually go to sleep and try and get our body clocks back in time. But we're at the we're going to head off down there, down the river, to a place called Jonker Street where there's a night market. So yeah, come on. I'm not making any sense because I'm absolutely jiggered. So we visited Jonker Street on our first night because it was Sunday and there was a Sunday market there. It was a really interesting place. It was lots of food and
I think they were only just sort of setting up. We probably got there a bit too early, but like I said, it was one of those. We'd arrived, we wanted to have a look, see what it was all about.
And then there was also, do you remember those rickshaws that were full of lights
and very loud noises
playing music,
really
aimed towards children, really.
We're in Malacca.
So the following morning we had a guided tour of Malacca.
The lad, very pleasant chap, came and met us at the hotel, and we walked into Malacca town from the hotel, and he took us around and gave us a bit of a history of the place and showed us some of the sights.
Yeah, so we went in the church, we looked at the clock tower, we saw the Portuguese fort and St Paul's Hill. It was really interesting. Actually, it was helpful to have the guide take us round that day.
He took us to the museum and we played some silly games as well.
And then we went on a river cruise as well that was included as part of the tour. So that was really good.
Yeah, he took us a nice restaurant, and we had some interesting bite to eat, didn't we? Piety, I think they were called, which were very tasty.
Yeah.
And actually, it was really good timing because what we soon realised as soon as we got there, that it was actually monsoon season, and basically what that mean that you'd
Every afternoon it absolutely chucked it down.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't a problem. We took umbrellas with us just in case, but we found that we'd sort of put them in our bags, and they were there if if and when, usually when it started to rain. But on this day we'd already managed to get into the restaurant safely.
Yeah.
But so we wandered around, and here's some of the artwork that's
Yeah, I think Penang, which we visited later on in the trip, is renowned for its artwork, but Malacca has also got some really good artwork. We enjoyed it, didn't we? And the day we had on our own, we went to the old Portuguese ship, which is a replica. It obviously isn't the real thing, so we had that. That was good, wasn't it?
yeah, and it was really easy to explore um, the town and the ship, the entrance to the ship, which we thought that's all we were getting, but actually it gave you entrance to the Maritime Museum, and a few
There was
other.
another museum as well, and then we had to wander into the Baba and
Neonia.
No, yeah, one of the heritage
Museum.
museums, and that was really interesting because that was like an old trader's house, and it just showed you what was there.
Yeah.
Number of temples in Malacca as well that were worth visiting.
It's really, again, you just sort of wander around, and there's so much to see and do.
And it's very walkable.
Yeah.
Really walkable. And the walk along the river's lovely as well.
It's a very nice setup. I mean, we've done it on the boat, but actually, you can walk from the hotel into town as well. It's a bit further, but yeah, it's very well presented and well done to.
It felt very safe, didn't it?
It did indeed.
It didn't feel threatened whatsoever. It was really good. Then we were picked up by our driver and transferred to Kuala Lumpur.
Hello. So we've just arrived in Kuala Lumpur, or Lumpur, and we think we found the botanical gardens, but we're not really quite sure what we're doing or where we're going, and we're just following paths. So who knows? Yeah, we probably underestimated how big the gardens were, to be honest with you. But it were massive, and we wandered there and had a look around. There was loads more than what we're actually showing on here. And I think really you need to get a map and a bit of a game plan if you really want to see. I think there's a bird park and there's animals, and but yeah, we certainly got a taster of
and it was walkable. We stayed in the again, it was called the Majestic Hotel in Kuala Lumpur, and that was walkable to there. Following day we were picked up for another trip around Kuala Lumpur.
And I think this was a meant to be a half-day tour, but ended up
it was quite a long tour,
quite substantial tour.
It was. So we went to the mosque, and it was interesting, wasn't it?
And he gave us actually a really good insight into how in Malaysia they're very diverse and open with the religions, and embrace each other's religions, and it was very, very inspiring, really.
And then we wandered around some of the other just interesting places to see. So like the square and just had a look at just various things. But then one of the really good trips was the KL Tower, wasn't it? That was really good. So we went up to the top of there and got some really good views of Kuala Lumpur while we were there. we spent quite a bit of time just wandering around and looking at things, didn't we?
And the guide was very good. He was giving us a good in-depth explanation and history of the city as well. And then we headed to the Petronas Towers, which are very iconic. If you ever see any sort of pictures of Malaysia, then this is the picture that you will see. And again, he gave us like the history of the design and the creation of that building.
Yeah, and underneath it was a shopping centre, wasn't it? Very Western shops. Wouldn't say there were any bargains to be had, but it was interesting to have a look at those. There was a big food court, plenty of places to eat.
We actually on another day we got we ventured and we got a train.
Yeah, we did.
So the hotel that we're staying at offered a free bus to the central train station, and then we got a train, a light train from the train station to Petronas, back to the Petronas Towers, to the restaurants, had a bite to eat, and then ventured back. But again, it was very easy to get around their transport system.
First evening we ate in the buffet in the hotel, and the second evening we ate in their fine dining restaurant, which was
the Colonial Cafe, I think, and it was lovely.
It was really
nice.
Nice, wasn't it?
Yeah,
and it was a reasonable price, wasn't it? For hotel work.
Yeah, and there was a pianist and a singer, and very nice to relax in. And, yeah.
So the following day we were picked up by the same guide again, and then we had just a half-day trip there to the Batu Caves, which I call the Bat Cave.
The Bat Caves, well, that's
And you walk up lots and lots of steps to get into the cave.
And basically, this is a very important
Hindu shrine.
And he was telling us about the different festivals that they have there, and actually it's a very
sacred place, isn't it, for Hindus? So it was quite interesting. There was quite a few monkeys around, and apparently these monkeys are quite naughty monkeys, but
we didn't see any.
They weren't too bad for us. We just ignored them and wandered around, but it was quite a pretty place to see.
And the guide was very good as well, and I definitely recommend getting a guide, because he gave us the tales of Lord Murugan, and the backgrounds to all of those tales as part of that. And then they took us to the
pewter factory.
There's always some sort of factory that you visit that you do on these sort of tours, but actually I found it quite interesting. And there were demonstrations on some of the things
how
that they
made
there.
The pewter ornaments, really. So it was it was interesting. It was just one of those things that you watch. But I say, when I saw Royal Splendour, I thought we were going to the palace. Anyway, the next day we headed off to the Cameron Highlands, which that was I can't remember how long it took us from Kuala Lumpur now. Can you?
Yeah, it's another few hours. Again, it was a private transfer. We got picked up and then taken to Cameron Highlands, uphill. So it's obviously
it got cooler.
As we went uphill, and this area was actually it was like a Scottish explorer who founded and created this space in the mountains, and you can see it was that sort of colonial feel to the place, and we even had some roast lamb and Yorkshire pudding there, which was really embracing the local cuisine, but this was what they were offering.
So the next day we got picked up again by another private guide, and we went to the Mossy Forest.
Yeah, Mossy Forest.
Which is really, really good fun. It was seeing all the local scenery, really, which was really beautiful, lush and green, and that's because of the amount of rain that they had. It was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and that was one. It was just because again, it's the hot and humid place that we took our approach
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah. And then we went to Botanical Gardens, and then we went to the tea
Tea
plantation.
plantation.
Could have given the tea plantation a bit of a miss, really.
Yeah.
It was what it was. And then we went for lunch, which was included in the tour. And then we were meant to be going
I think to another temple.
somewhere else, but to be honest, we'd had enough.
Yeah.
So we had the following day to ourselves, which we had a nice relaxing day, and then we got our next transfer over to Penang Island. Again, it was private transfer. We were picked up at the hotel and taken to our hotel in Penang, and we stayed at the Eastern and Oriental Hotel. Were picked up the following day by another guide.
Yeah.
We were taken to the fort, just to the outside, and then we went to the jetties, the Chu jetties, which was where all the Chinese people lived, and there was a lot of them, but they then reduced them down, so there's only a couple left.
Yeah,
but
it's
worth
now
a
UNESCO
visit.
heritage. Yeah, it's now protected sites there.
Yeah. So then, as part of the tour, we went on a rickshaw ride around Georgetown. So we had a few stops. We went to the old fire station as well, and the Blue Mansion. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was learning all about it was like a rags to riches tale of one of the there was a merchant who married married into one of the wealthy families, and then became one of the richest men in the country. So it was, it was interesting.
And then we went to one of the clan houses. So they have a number of these clan houses around Penang, and then we were taken for lunch as well, which we didn't know was but we had a really nice lunch actually. And then the following day we just visited Georgetown by ourselves, so we went to try and find some of the artwork because it's renowned for the artwork, and we also had a wander through Chinatown and Little India, and hunted for the artwork, and
there's just so much it was so much to see and do, and you're just looking around all the time trying to find things, and it was it was great fun. It really was.
Yeah, it was. A lot of the artwork was fading, and because it's a UNESCO site, they're not allowed to retouch it up. So there's some fading, but there's also some new artwork as well, certainly near where the old fire station was.
Yeah.
We also had a really good time in the Wonder Food Museum. It was so silly.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's just like, why on earth would you want to go to a museum like just about food? But actually, it was really interesting, and I enjoyed reading about the different cuisines. Obviously, there's so many different cultures that the Chinese, the Indian, the Malay, but then the way that they did it as well, it was just they made all these models of all these different types of food, and obviously there was lots of like photo opportunities, but what they say is food is fun, and this is exactly what we enjoyed. We took the opportunity, didn't we, to pose with lots of props, and it's recommended to anyone who goes to Georgetown.
Yeah. So then the next day we went on another tour up Penang Hill, and this was good. Our tour guide, she was the same lady who'd taken us out the day before, made sure we had the best spot on the funicular train that took you up the hill, so that was good.
It was great fun. I'm very, very impressed with the technology and the speed of that funicular.
My ears popped as we went up. It was like being at the
a kind of roller
coaster, and then there was one going down and one coming up, and as you can see, it sort of splits, and you're thinking you're going to hit each other, but it doesn't.
It's very, very good, very well done.
Yeah.
So that was, I think that in itself, just going on the funicular is it's worth it just for that.
Yeah.
But obviously, when you do get to the top, then again you get great views of
Penang, yeah.
Penang itself, and
There's some lovely gardens, and there's also some monkeys up there.
the
that we
white-faced
saw.
monkeys
And
were
they
brilliant.
they're nice monkeys. The guide told us. She said that they're not the aggressive ones that are near the Batu Caves.
Yeah.
So that was a really interesting place. And there was also another Hindu shrine or temple up there as well that we went round.
Yeah, and there was a mosque as well, but I think it was
that was closed
at
wasn't
the
it?
time. Yeah.
But there was a mosque and it's only a small area up there, but it was very interesting again.
And then obviously we went back down again, and again it was right at the front of the funicular, and this time it really did feel like a roller coaster.
And then we went to a Buddhist temple, didn't we? Keklosi, was it called? Or something along those lines. And that was huge.
Yeah,
absolutely enormous. And they were expecting the King of Thailand, weren't they? So it was all done out for the King of Thailand coming.
Yeah, but it was on different layers. So you normally what you do is you drive to the top and then walk down to different layers, and then be met at the bottom on your car. But I think that part of the road was closed because of what was happening here. But again, we were able to see the different layers in the temple. So yeah, I think overall we had it was really interesting, wasn't it? We had a great time.
We had a great time. It was and it was my birthday whilst we were there as well. So we had some birthday celebrations. Yeah. So it was it was
lovely, and
nice
the people
time.
were really nice. And I think we'd recommend that to anybody who's interested.